Hi guys, and welcome to the Business as Unusual show. I hope you are doing well. It is Wednesday. We are halfway through the week, would you believe? We have a fantastic show. We have a fantastic guest. We have Dan Reed from Career Dad, so he's going to be talking to us about what it's like to be a dad and career, and also the business and organisation he set up to try and help support dads who are trying to be an awesome dad at the same time as being a really busy dad at work as well, and the challenges that brings. Let's have a quick look at what's been going on this week. So, in a week that saw the UK government make a U-turn when it comes to the reverting back to limiting social gatherings to 6 people, and to be honest, that's pretty much dominated the news for this week. It's a tough story to follow. It's going to be tough. There's always something Donald Trump related, though. So in some unusual news, Donald Trump has been nominated for the Nobel Prize. Oh my gosh. As if 2020 couldn't get any weirder than that. But it's Wednesday. It's time to get down to business as unusual. Hi guys, and welcome to the Business as Unusual show. For those of you who are new to the channel, my name is Luke. I'm the CEO of Sleeping Giant Media and Giant Campus. And if you are on our social channels, be that LinkedIn or YouTube or Twitter or wherever you're watching this at the moment, please do hang around, check out some of the additional content. We've got loads of free content that we've been pushing out, particularly on YouTube, where you can see Giant Wednesdays and loads of kind of things that we'll be talking about to increase your digital marketing performance or help you take the first steps towards digital marketing. So yeah, please do check that out. So yeah, today is the Business as Unusual show, and I have a fantastic guest. We're going to introduce Dan right now. Dan, how are you going? How's things?
Hello. Hey, Luke. Thank you so much for having me on your show. How are you?
I'm good. I'm very well. It's the time just flies. I had to say I was a little bit taken aback by that intro, the news story that Donald Trump has been nominated for a Nobel Prize. I mean,
Yeah, I wanted to question that. By whom?
well,
Himself?
that was I feel like I need to do some googling. I feel like we need to sort of pause the show whilst I try to get my head around
Yeah.
what I've just learned as well. Because I have to say I was rushing into this one, and the guys put the news together for me, and I had to say I did not know that, and I want to
Yeah,
know what's going on with the process. Who nominates these people?
exactly.
How does that happen? But that aside,
Mm.
could you do a quick introduction to yourself and your, obviously the business slash organisation that you've created?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Dan Reed, and I'd say, well, September-ish of last year, I started Career Dad. And Career Dad really is, well, it's a bit Ronseal, isn't it? It's what it says on the tin. It's for guys who are, career is important to them and they want to progress. And career doesn't necessarily mean corporate career. It could be whatever career path that individual wants to take.
Mm.
It's more that they are fulfilled by their work, and it isn't just something that they have to get through to get to the weekend. But then also dads are much more involved in their kids' lives than the generation before us and the generation before them, which is obviously fantastic. But what challenges does that present? And just from my own experience, which I'm sure we'll get onto, it presented some really big challenges for me, especially when the dad and the career collided. So I just thought, I can't really see anyone else talking about this in the way that I want it to be talked about. So let's create it and see if it resonates. And a year on, and it seems to have stuck.
Amazing, yeah, and I mean it is a tough one, isn't it? The balance, and obviously, and again, there's obviously lots of challenges, for women as well, but for dads as well. There's, as you say, the generational changes. What my dad, how involved my dad has is slightly
Yeah.
different, I think, to the level of what I'm involved with, as you said, which is a great thing. Which is, I absolutely love my involvement, but it does come with its own challenges as well.
Yeah, I mean, I remember my dad having a conversation with me, and it might not be verbatim, but it was along the lines of, if you want a career, your family has to sacrifice.
Mm.
and I thought, this makes sense now. This family dynamic makes sense now. But yeah, and it's like that just didn't really sit well with me. I just thought, why? And and so when I was really lucky in that my wife, we met at university, so we've been together for a hell of a long time. And as I was never really career focused. I think I kind of meandered through my early 20s, and it was only in my mid 20s where I guess I kind of say that I got good at work. And what I mean by that is I got into an organization that just I felt I could navigate. I'm a real people person, so being able to make connections with people, and also looking back, they'd now call it servant leadership, but that's just innate within me. I want to know what I can do to help serve. And I always say if I wasn't in marketing, I'd be in customer services because that's just what I want to do. So I think having those traits and those characteristics, and then, thankfully also being quite good at my job, I started getting promoted, which was fantastic. And then I guess my eyes were opened up to what the possibilities of the world could be. And that's where it really started to hit me that, well, hang on a minute, this is going to conflict with how I feel about being a father, which I wasn't at the time, but I knew that I wanted to be.
Was that is that in terms of the time that was involved with the work or the sort of travel, or what was it that was what you felt?
Yeah. So it's a great question. I think a number of things. I think definitely the time, the travel. I started working a lot more in London. I started getting opportunities to work abroad. And there was some, I went on one business trip, and the guy I went with was like, I need to get a 5 a.m. flight to Germany, and I need to get a 7 a.m. flight home. And I just thought, I don't want to do that. I want to go out for dinner with people. I want to go for drinks. I like that social side. So it's definitely the time, but I think it's also societal. I think, it's a very unpopular, or it's not widely accepted to say, I like my job and that's important too. So usually, when I'm conscious of not wanting to jump ahead, but when I had kids and then I wanted to look at, a working dad, what did that look like? All of the information out there was kind of work-life balance, which is a phrase I hate. But it was basically, work is this terrible thing that you need to get through in order to be a present and better father or partner, whatever it is. And I was thinking, but that I actually enjoy my work. And again, that is something that you're not meant to say, you're not meant to do. And so, I felt really a fish out of water of, I have these issues that sometimes work is more important than my family. Sometimes it is. And I'm okay with that, but I don't know, we might even get comments on that now. Like, that's not a popular opinion. And I'm not saying work at the expense of everything. I'm just saying sometimes work is more important. Sometimes, most of the time, family is more important.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, on that, guys, questions around this, feel free to add into the chat. We can kind of throw those over to Dan as we kind of go through that. Now, one of the things which maybe kind of taps into some of the conversations that you've been having with other dads as well is, I remember year 2, I think it was, with my first, and I was still trying to do everything that I did before, because I do love my job, and running a business, you kind of have to, otherwise it's just like, it's very difficult. But then I think I remember thinking to myself, I feel guilty for being at work because I was not there to support my wife and our kid. And then I felt guilty when I was at home for not being at work because I wanted to support my business partner and my business. And I was basically stuck in the middle, feeling like I'm letting everybody down the entire time. And I'm guessing these are the sorts of things that you hear and help and sort of, talk to other dads about as well.
Luke, you are preaching to the converted. You've pretty much just summed up the foundation of Career Dad's core. It's guilt. It's all centered around guilt, and I'm sure we'll come onto lockdown as well. But for me, lockdown has just exacerbated that. There is no difference between work and home. And so, I wrote a post on LinkedIn a few days ago just saying, I feel like I'm failing everyone. I don't think I'm a particularly good employee right now. I don't think I'm a particularly good dad right now, because all the time I'm just spinning the plates as we always are,
Mm.
but just not really giving. I'm just caring that they're spinning. I'm not really caring kind of what they're doing. But the guilt is so interesting because I've come up with this concept called the guilt wheel, and I need to get this in
Ooh.
some sort of interactive PDF because I think it could be pretty funky.
Mm.
But let me just explain it to you because I think you might resonate, right?
We could have got a drawing board out
So
if I'd known. We could have done
we
something with
could,
this.
yeah, oh, we
A
could,
jam board
right?
or something.
Sorry,
Next time. Next time.
fine. Next time. So the guilt wheel I start with is you have particularly, this isn't men specific, but I think it resonates most with men. Is guys go, I want to work really, really hard to provide for my family, to give my family a better life than I had growing. Even if you had a fantastic life, you always want better for
Mm.
your kids and your spouse. Fine. So we'll start up here, top of the guilt wheel. Then, in order to do that, to earn that money, you have to work, right? So you're putting in
Generally,
more
I hope
hours,
so.
you're traveling more. Yeah, I know, right? All the passive incomes, right? So you're having to work, put in the hours. That is then taking time away from that family. So then what happens is you carry on down into 6 o'clock on the guilt wheel.
Mm.
And this happened in my, with my wife, is she was saying, you're not around as much, you're in London,
Mm.
you're doing all this stuff. And I was saying, but I'm doing it for you. I'm
Yeah.
doing it for you and our family, right? And so there's clearly some disconnect, and guys being sometimes, to stereotype, we might not want to sit down and reflect and explore what might be the cause of that. We just double down on what we're good at, which is the work. So then we just work more, and you kind of get this vicious cycle. And that's where I found myself, right? And I don't know whether that resonates with you. You were laughing enough to make me think it might.
There are some similarities. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So what really, really helped me is that, but I'm doing this for you.
Mm.
Because, and a friend called, I'm so thankful for this. A friend called me out on this because I had a conversation with him and I said, but I'm doing, he said, why do you want another promotion? Why do you want, and I was like, because I'm doing it, I want to provide for my family.
Mm.
And he just said to me, how much provision do you need? And I was like, whoa, this was just in Costa. It's
Mm.
like, whoa, having a real deep and meaningful. And I really thought about that. And I thought, I am doing it for them, absolutely, but not wholeheartedly. I'm
Mm.
selfishly doing it for me. I'm doing it for the satisfaction that work brings me, for the enjoyment, for the social interaction. I can't call my wife up and go, the boss has just asked me to go for a beer after work, but don't worry, I'm doing it for you.
Mm.
Like, it's just not going to fly. So when I kind of realized that, yes, I was doing it for them, but I was also doing it for me, and that was my choice, that actually helped with the guilt around it, because then it was just the same as if I'm going to play 9 holes of
Yeah.
golf. Like, it's just a choice that I'm choosing to do. It's a hobby. It's just a hobby that someone pays me for. If that kind of
Yeah.
makes
Yeah.
sense.
Absolutely. No. Exactly. It's removed. It's There's have you seen the victim the drama triangle, and there's the victim sort of part of that. And if it sounds similar to that, whereas if you
Ah,
own, so
okay,
that might be worth having a look at. But it's like if you own the
definitely.
decision rather than saying it feels like it's forced upon you, then actually you're not the
Yes,
victim in that situation, because it's yeah. It helps to kind of to
that's
get
so
over that.
true.
But that was a good. There's a
Yeah.
good book about that. Slightly odd, if I remember. It's like a fable, and it's quite weird. But anyway, I'll let you
Okay.
enjoy that one. We're going to quickly jump to this. This is the tenuous link quiz,
Yeah.
which has been put together, and it's obviously tying into obviously what you do cleverly. Daddy was there. The song from Austin Powers, which is
Yeah.
awesome. So what is, as I said, nothing here related to anything too serious. Name two iconic fathers voiced by James Earl Jones.
Okay. So can I start? This isn't going to be a good start. Who's James Earl
It's
Jones?
not a strong start for the quiz. Um, I'll tell you what, I'm going to help you out with this one because I know the answer to this one because I'm a big fan. So
Fantastic.
he
Hopefully
did
this
the
isn't a
voice
theme.
for Darth Vader, and he also did the voice for the Lion King in. So he's
Oh,
Mustafa. Is it Mustafa? Mufasa. Mufasa. That's what. That's the
Mufasa.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Let's have a
Yeah.
look. There we go. Combine the two.
I like
That's
that.
good design
I
skills there,
like
Alex. Nicely
that's
done. It
dark.
is dark. It's a
Yeah.
t-shirt waiting to happen
Yeah.
there, isn't it?
It really is.
Or a mug. Right, next question.
Right.
Speaking of Darth Vader, which one is the correct quote? So now you know. Obviously, we now that know
Yeah,
that
yeah.
James Earl Jones is the voice behind Darth Vader. Um, which one's the
I
quote?
really wish it was I wore masks before they were cool.
Yeah.
But but Luke, I am your father.
Wow. It's,
No,
Danny, you're breaking it to me right now. Oh no, it's
it's no. Oh no!
no. I would have gone the same. Wow.
Wow,
Wow. Okay.
tricky.
Cool. Emosh. Right. Who
So
was the far?
just warming up.
Yeah, just warm up. Quite question three. I think. Well, we got one right together. So, who was father to Helen of Troy? Oh gosh, how do I say that?
The fastest?
Hephaestus, Her-
Uh,
Heracles,
yeah,
Hermes,
Heracles, Hermes, and
Persephone.
yeah,
Her-
Persephone. Oh God, Ares, Artemis, and
oh my
Athena.
god.
Jeez, I don't think it was Zeus. I think he was super big,
I've
lad, wasn't he?
I've just noticed and Clocky, my business partner, has this, it's not that. I know that is not a correct answer.
Good. I think I think it's either Cronus or Kratos. I want to go with Kratos.
Okay, let's go with that. I think it's not. I don't think it's Zeus. I'm pretty sure it's not Ant. Yeah, it's 50-50 between those two. Let's have a look. Let's have a look.
Uh,
Oh,
no
I do. There's
way.
a lot of. I think there's a lot of incest in the Greek mythology. I believe actually. Oh,
Yeah,
because
that is
yeah, we
true.
watched. We
I
watched.
mean, Zeus. Sorry, go
No,
on.
as I said, we watched Disney's Hercules, and then my wife then was like, "This is not factually accurate," and I was like, "It's Disney," so that's the first
Yeah.
thing to note. But yeah, she then we went learned there's a lot of incest involved with it. But
Uh,
true or false? The word dad/dada actually originated from the words that babies commonly say first. True or false?
Um, I'm gonna have to go with true.
Let's have a look. It's true. The Oxford English. That's a good one. I think that one you probably should have known as well. And you
Yeah,
can
I
throw
know,
that as like
right?
an interesting fact as part of your content. Okay, so a quick look. According to the Austin Powers song "Daddy Wasn't There," what wasn't
Gee.
Daddy there for?
Uh, I'm gonna. I'm
So
gonna have to go to change his underwear. It's been
yes,
such a long
I think
time.
you're right because it must rhyme. Let's have a look.
It
Oh, all
must.
of them. He
Oh,
wasn't there for
I'm right.
anything.
Oh,
Daddy wasn't there. Poor dad.
oh
Unbelievable. He
wow.
wasn't a good dad, which is obviously what he was too involved with his career, which is
Yeah, well, exactly.
what
He needed career dad in his
what
life,
we're here
clearly.
to overcome. Hopefully, we are way past it, but I'm quickly going to run it. It's the halfway mark. Mark Hamill again. Time back in. I think I did it last time, but I forgot to change it, so we're using Mark Hamill again. But it did tie in because we did talk about Darth
It did
Vader
tie in
again.
with my lack of knowledge.
No, well, you know,
Around.
I think to be fair, they were actually quite tricky. And if you don't know who James L. Jones is, that first question is tough. It's not, you know,
It's gonna mentally mess with me for the rest of the questions, I
it's
think.
good, exactly. It just knocked you out of stride there. I'm just scrolling back because there's a question in from Dan Locke. A brand new
Okay,
dad. Congratulations, Dan. I remember the
congratulations.
early conversations in lockdown. I'm very lucky that I feel supported by my organisation. However, a number of my friends are not supported, or there is an archaic view where their organisations expect them back at work doing above and beyond hours and say it's the mum's job. What advice do you give to them on how to approach the changing culture? Good question. Love it.
Wow, wow. And so is it's always bad to go back with a question, but if this is advice to the organization, as in how do you change the culture within the organization, obviously come and speak to me, and I'd be more than happy to talk to them about how to implement the right kind of culture and support dads at work.
Hmm.
If it's more to the employees who work there, I think, and I wouldn't say there's little that they can do, but I think what I found really powerful is to just stand up and be counted and to say that this is not okay or this is okay.
Hmm.
I think that it's funny because the attitude of, well, isn't it for mums? One of the main things that I push with Career Dad is actually gender equality because it makes sense, right? Because if I and other dads feel like we can be more involved in our kids' lives, but also, doing the school run, or what I like to say, when society accepts that the school can call me as much as they can call my wife to pick up the sick kid, we're kind of on the journey. Because if the school can't call me or won't call me, or if the societal expectation is that they won't call me, the default will be the mum. So then how can mum go to that meeting in London, or how can they progress their career? So I don't think it's a binary thing. I think and this is, you've hit the nail on the head here, Dan, because this is the main problem I think that organizations have, is that they're generally incredibly supportive pre-birth to dads. I think paternity leave is fantastic, but then you get back and there might be your first week of coming back and they say, oh, if you want to work from home a little bit more, if you need to be flexible with your hours, that's cool. The week after, it's like, sorry, you've been dad now, that's done. Just crack on. So in terms of what can those dads do, if it's what can the dads do who are at that organization, actually I think the simplest thing they can do is speak. It depends on the size of the organization or whatever, but speak to HR, or if there's a diversity and inclusion team, or if there's a working families network, or if there's anything like that, and say, I as a dad want to help set up a forum for dads who work in this organization, just to get together once a month, once a quarter, and have an informal coffee chat about what it's like being a dad working here. And I think that once that is registered with a DNI network, or a HR network, sending that message that it's something the company should and pay attention to.
Fantastic. Yeah, great. And it's challenging, because I had to say, I remember, I was just, as you were saying this, and obviously this is 5 years ago now for me, but I remember personally feeling, and I can choose, I can choose because I own the business, but even then I was forcing myself to be back in the door. I didn't take my full 2 weeks. I think I had 6 days of
Really?
because I wanted to set my, I remember thinking that's what almost I need, as a leader, I needed to do, which obviously now I'm like, that was a ridiculous,
it could have been the
bad
exact
decision.
opposite, right?
But I remember exactly that sort of feeling of the need to do it. Hey,
You won't believe what I just found.
One second, Theo. So this is my son Theo. I did say, I think I messaged you earlier saying that I can guarantee at some point he will come in. Do you want to say hi?
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Theo. Hi.
Do you have a quick question? Is it about Zelda?
Yes.
Yeah.
You won't believe what I just found.
What did you find?
I found one of the divine beasts.
You found a divine beast.
Yep.
We can have a look at that after finish this, maybe.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It's walking near the hopner.
Is it the elephant? No, not the elephant one. It's the other one. Yep, I know the one. See you in a little bit.
See you in a minute.
That is big news.
That is big news. We've been trying to get the third divine beast on Breath of the Wild for a while now, so.
And we've cracked it, and we've done it live on air, which is fantastic.
We've done it live. Because this is not set up. This is, we talk about lockdown, and I think we're coming on to it, around, working from home. This is 6 or 7 times a day.
I know.
This is it. This is it. It doesn't matter who I'm talking. It doesn't matter. This is live. Doesn't matter.
But do you think this has made it more acceptable in the sense? So going, obviously, Dan's question said thanks very much, and could listen to this for hours. And again, Dan, go check out other Dan Reed's site. There's loads of content, loads of stuff, and Dan does podcasts as well, which are on Spotify. And I think you mentioned the top 10% listen to
top
podcasts.
10%. So we've got the Career Dad Show. The mugs.
Actual mugs. Not like the ones I pretended that we had, that we didn't have to the guests initially. The actual mugs.
Actual mugs. Yeah, so we've just, I just found out yesterday that based on downloads and listenership, we're in the top 10% of podcasts, which is fantastic.
That is incredible.
I kind of explained it to her because my wife was like, that can't be right. Supportive, and I did think I think it's because when they look at a medium view, like you've got in the top 1%, you'll have anything from 10,000 to like 3 million, and they'll all be in the top 1%. Whereas when you get further down, it's kind of a little bit easier to get into that top percent, but nonetheless, top 10%.
Hey, that's awesome. That is 9% away from that 1%. sort of.
Exactly.
I think maybe I don't know how
Exactly.
quite the maths on that work.
Well,
But anyway,
without getting like too sidetracked into stats and statistics, but I had this explained to me really, really well because the analogy, kind of looking at the median or the average, is if you've got 10 guys sat at a bar and they each earn £50,000, and then Bill Gates walks in, the average earning of all of those guys are shot up to $1 billion, right? £1 billion. And so the disparity between the 50,000 that actually the majority are on and the billion is so far away. Whereas actually, when you take that medium view, it doesn't matter if Bill Gates walks in or not because it's still 50.
Gotcha.
So that's how I look at it.
There we go. There's statistical analysis as well as dad talk as well. This is the variety of the show. And to add to additional variety of the show, I'm just going to jump to this because we like a good quote, and I think this is always good to get your view on which one you like, which one you love, and which one you would avoid. So it's like the snog, marry, avoid.
Okay.
We're just going to read through them.
But with inspiration. Yes.
So let's see what you think of these. So first quote: "What you get by achieving your goals is not as important as what you become by achieving your goals."
Ooh, okay.
Zig Ziglar.
I do like it. I think it's a bit wordy, but I like it. Do I have to choose? Because I don't know what it's against.
Yeah, we'll go to the next one and we'll recap at the end.
Perfect.
So believe you can and you're halfway there, Theodore Roosevelt.
Yeah.
Okay. Quote number 3: "I can't change the direction of the wind, but I can adjust my sails to always reach my destination, Jimmy Dean."
Ooh, okay. I think I've got it.
So what do we think? So which one do you which one do you want to start with? Like
so
love or
I'm gonna start with snog. I would snog. I can't change the direction of the wind, but I can adjust my sails to always reach my destination.
Like it, yeah.
So, yeah. I just think that is inspirational enough to make me think, but it's just not quite there enough. I don't want to set my store by it.
Yeah, you don't want to marry that one.
No, I don't want to marry that one. What I do want to marry is what you get by achieving your goals is not as important as what you become by achieving your goals. I think, and I kind of learned this the hard way to some extent, that I've realized that what I enjoy is the journey as opposed to the destination. And that gets said a lot, and people go, oh, enjoy the journey, enjoy the journey. I'm like, I have no idea what you're on about, until I related it to material purchases and was like, oh, I really want this car. I'm going to, save. I'm going to do this. I'm going to get the car. And then you get the car and you're like, it's a car. It's nice. Or maybe not even with a car, like with an Xbox or something. I really want it. And so actually what you enjoy is the trying to get the thing as opposed to getting.
Absolutely.
But yeah, believe you can and you're halfway there. I
comment in the chat, is that a Bon Jovi song?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think it's a good starter, but I'd say believe you can, and you're probably 5% of the way there.
I think that's a good. The idea bit is the first bit, isn't it? And it's
it is the first bit, because I think that, and the reason that I don't want to be rude to Mr. Roosevelt, but I just think that there's especially now, there's a lot of talk about it's positive attitude and it's visualizing and stuff. Absolutely. But then no one really talks about the slogging and bloody hours and days and weeks and months of hard work. So I think that's also worth calling out.
Absolutely. Dan, I think we are just about to run out of time.
Sorry.
But no. I mean, as Dan Locke said in the chat, I mean, it's such an interesting topic, and I have, the 10% in terms of top 10% of the podcast, I have no doubt, because it's such an interesting topic and something that evolves as well. And we didn't get to it, but I was going to ask questions around sort of the impacts of lockdown and how that sort of changed the whole parenting thing, but we haven't got time. So hopefully, again, at some point we can pick up the conversation again just to see how the next 6 months or the last sort of the 6 months have been for you and the people that you've been kind of working with. So guys, in the chat, I think someone posted a link to Dan's website, careerdad.co.uk.
Oh, you're kind.
So do check that out. Please do give that a click. There's loads. You've got loads of content on there, haven't you? Loads of resources.
Yeah,
well.
and it is really a mix between that career and dad. So there are things about, you know, how to find a mentor. Why should you find a mentor? How to interview prep, as well as, you know, dad stuff, as well as all the podcasts. They're all there as well.
Fantastic. But Dan, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much, and best of luck with the podcast, the content, and also balance. I don't want to say balance. We don't want to balance family, but trying to be an awesome dad at the same time as loving and being awesome at your job as well. So thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks, Luke. Appreciate it.
Guys, that is it. I cannot believe how fast the time has gone there. We are completely out of time. We will be back again on Friday at 4:30. So it's been an absolutely mad week. Things are going to be challenging in the next few months, I'm sure. But for all of us, it's just business as unusual.